You are looking at 88 members of the Scottsbluff, Nebraska High School Band. The 89th member is one of these three girls. What is your name, please?
My name is Paula Heinecke.
My name is Paula Heinecke.
My name is Paula Heinecke.
Only one of these girls is the real Paula Heinecke. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Sally Ann Howes, Abe Burrows, and Kitty Carlisle. On to Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Winston Filter Cigarettes. Good evening, panel.
Good evening, Bud.
Well, we're all set for tonight's activities. I'm sure you'll find that first envelope there. Will you open it up and follow along with me?
How do you open it?
Just in the end there, Abe. Kitty will show you. I, Paula Heinecke, am a member of the Scottsbluff, Nebraska High School Band. In 1960, the band members raised enough money to go to Washington and march in President Kennedy's inaugural parade. In 1963, we started raising money again. We sold light bulbs, vegetables, fireworks, and some 5,000 boxes of candy. We ran a car wash, several cake sales, gave concerts, and cut and delivered over 50 tons of firewood. We also collected more than 16,000 empty bottles for the refund. In all, we raised $21,000, enough to finance all 89 members of the band on a trip east to represent Nebraska at the New York World's Fair. Signed, Paula Heinecke. Now, panel, these three girls all claim to be Paula Heinecke, members of the Scottsbluff, Nebraska High School Band. We'll start this questioning, I think, with the star of What Makes Sammy Run, Sally Ann Howes.
Thank you, Bud. Number two, could you tell me, what's the name of the instrument you play?
A French horn.
And how long have you been playing it?
Oh, since 8th grade.
I see. Number three, could you tell me, what's the name of your bandmaster?
Mr. Becker. Ronald Becker.
Thank you. Number one, could you tell me how many shots would there be in, say, the key of B, flat?
No sharp.
I saw Abe giving me a lovely look.
Oh, Sammy rides again.
I read music beautifully, and you know that. Number three, could you tell me how many knobs are on your instrument?
I don't have knobs. That's
Well, what would you call them?
it's a slide trombone.
It's a slide trombone. Well, would you know?
You are musical, aren't you? Abe.
I have 3 knobs on my slide trombone.
You do?
I directed her on What Makes Sammy Run. She knows nothing about music at all. Who played
Why
the
did you
French?
give me that extra song then?
Who said she played the French horn? Number two.
Yes.
How long is the column of air in a French horn?
Oh, I don't know.
Number one. What do you play?
I play a cornet.
You had to look twice there.
No.
Could I see it? May I see it? Is that part of the game?
Yeah.
Is that a cornet or a trumpet?
This is a cornet.
Number three, what do you play?
Slide trombone.
Slide trombone.
I didn't.
Number three, you know the difference between a...
Yes, Kitty Carlisle is the difference.
Kitty, give me a fighting chance.
Number three, how much did you charge for the car wash?
$1.
$1? And number two, how much did you charge to cut firewood?
We charge $9 a half ton.
A half what?
Ton.
A half ton.
A half ton. Number one, why are there so many members of the band?
Oh, this is really a small band for my size high school.
Really?
Yes.
Ah, and you all play wind instruments?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, well, there's a percussion section.
Uh-huh.
And-
Number three, where is the drummer?
Where is the drummer?
Yeah.
He's out in the audience.
Kitty, the question is fair if the oboe player.
Tom Poston.
Thank you. Number one, as an old trumpet cornet man, who's Doc Severinsen? Do you happen to know?
Oh, I can't remember which show he's on. I know I've seen him late at night on television. Haven't I?
Sure. Number two, what is an embouchure?
Why, it's the way your lips are placed on the instrument, I believe.
Thank you. Number three, what do you use oil for in your instrument?
Well, to aid the slide of the,
What kind of oil is that, number three, Paula? Paula, number three.
It's a special musician's oil.
That's all the time we have. It's time for you now to mark your slip horns in any way you can. But please mark your ballots at once, without change and no consultation. Just vote, if you will, now for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And our team of challengers, of course, will win $250 for every incorrect vote. Are all ballots marked? Yes, they are. Very well, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I thought it was going to be one of those things where all three of the girls were from the band, because I thought they were great. But then I realized that it has to be only Paula Heinecke, and there won't be more than one of those, so I chose number 2. She knew something about the embouchure anyway. It's not quite that, but who cares?
Sally Ann.
Well, in spite of my tin ear, I'm going to vote for number 2 because I was very impressed by her embouchure. That doesn't sound right.
Abe Burrows.
Never mind, forget it. Go
Well,
on.
I have a whole new system. I voted for number 3 because she's the only one who knew where the drummer was.
Kitty, what is your vote?
I voted for number 2 based on Tom's embouchure. And I think they all gave marvelous answers, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they were all 3 members of the band.
This is based on Tom's embouchure?
Yes.
Oh, let me see it, Tom. Yes, lovely. All right, there we have it. Not very widely split. 3 for number 2 and 1 for number 3. Let's find out now which one of these young ladies, in truth, is the member of the Scottsbluff, Nebraska High School Band. And to help pick out the real Paula Heinecke, I'd like to call up on stage the leader of the band, Mr. Ronald Becker, and 6 of his musicians. Mr. Becker, welcome to you. And would you be kind enough to give us a rendition of the Scottsbluff High School alma mater, Fight Team Fight? And Paula Heinecke, will the real Paula Heinecke please play along? Thank you, Mr. Becker, and the members of the band. I must say, having watched her play, she does have a mighty cute embouchure.
But there are 30 feet of air. 30-foot column of air in the French horn.
Do you know that?
No.
I happen to know that. I don't know how I know it. I know it. And I'm
Think
ashamed
what
I
you've
know
learned, Paula. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
I'm Sherry Stotler, and I work at the Belgian Village at the New York World's Fair.
Thank you. And high school girl number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
I'm Mary Ann Cumming, and I'm a housewife with 2 children.
Well, ladies, checking the score, there was 1 incorrect vote, but that's worth 250 solid good dollars to you, and I hope it brings you great happiness as you did to us tonight. That, of course, comes to you from Winston, and we thank you very much for joining us. Good night, and God bless you. Now, 60 seconds designed to your particular taste for your particular pleasure. Now, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ten-Zeng Norgay. My name is Ten-Zeng Norgay.
My name is Ten-Zeng Norgay.
Follow along, panel, if you will, with your copies of this story. I, Ten-Zeng Norgay, am a Sherpa. Born in Nepal in the shadow of the Himalayas, I have been mountaineering since I was 14 years old. I am now director of the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute in Darjeeling. On May 29th, 11 years ago, Sir Edmund Hillary and I stood together on the roof of the world, the first two men in history to climb to the highest point on Earth, the summit of Mount Everest. Signed, Ten-Zeng Norgay. Panel, these three gentlemen all claim to be Ten-Zeng Norgay, conqueror of Mount Everest. We'll start this cross-examination with our own conqueror of any mountain you want to mention, Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. This is indeed a pleasure. I'm overcome at being able to really see face-to-face the real Sherpa who climbed Mount Everest with Sir Edmund Hillary. Whichever face it is, yes. Number three, how many camps were there on the famous climb 11 years ago?
9 camps.
9 camps. Number two, where is Kathmandu?
It is the capital of Nepal.
Thank you. Number one, were there any accidents on that famous climb?
About, I think, about 9.
9.
Yes, some.
Number three, bad cases of frostbite, right? Oh, I shouldn't put words in your mouth. What were the accidents?
Mostly frostbite.
Mostly frostbite.
Tom Poston.
Thank you. I've always been fascinated by the name Darjeeling. What does it mean, number two, Darjeeling?
Dorje is the top, is the bolt, and Ling is the area of the thunderbolt in English, yes.
Oh, I see, the Thunderbolt area, okay. Number one, what is a Sherpa? What does Sherpa mean?
But Sherpa means man come from north.
From north?
North of Tibet.
Northern part of Tibet. Thank you. Number three, what is the purpose of oxygen on your climb, the bottles of oxygen?
Well, when you get to a certain height, going up to the mountains, you need an oxygen tank.
And
Sally Ann House.
Well, I hate to do this because I disgraced myself when I last played this show by saying I knew who it was and then finding out I was such a fool. I didn't know who it was. But I think I do this time, and I think I better disqualify myself.
Oh, very well. Okay, that'll count then as an incorrect vote when we total up the score at the end. Abe Burrows.
Could I disqualify myself on grounds of stupidity?
No. That's really my reason.
You can try, but we won't let you.
Number one, you said a Sherpa is a man from the north.
Yes.
Number three, where's the Dalai Lama now?
Dalai Lama is in Tibet.
Number two, where is the Dalai Lama now?
In Dharamshala, Punjab, India.
Number one, where is the Dalai Lama now?
In Punjab.
Where was he the last letter you got from him?
This is the 54th Street here.
Boy. Number two.
And that's all the time we have, I'm sorry to say. Just within reach of the top of Mount Everest, we have to mark our ballot. So will you kindly do so at once? Vote now, without change and no consultation. Simply vote for number one, number two, or number three. I see a lot of thought, but not much marking.
All right, we'll do our own marking.
All right, do your own marking, if you will. Let me know when you're through, if you will, please.
well, no, of course you have.
All right. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number one, Bud. If you look very carefully, you'll see that he's just a little taller than the other two, and a guy with a start like that might be expected to reach the top of the highest mountain quicker than that.
Sally Ann, you disqualified yourself, so that'll go as an incorrect vote. Abe, your vote.
Gee, he used my explanation. No, I voted for number three. I don't know why. Maybe I'll go the opposite of Tom. He looks shorter. And I think shorter men want to climb mountains.
Kitty, which one do you think is the real one?
Well, I voted for number three. all I could think of was I'm so anxious to talk to the real one. I hope he'll come away with me after the show.
All right. Watch it, Kitty. Watch it. Very well. There we have 2 for number 3, 1 for number 1, and 1 disqualification. Let's go immediately to find out which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is the conqueror of Mount Everest. So will the real Ten-Zeng Norgay please stand up? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
I knew him, Bud, because he was the only one who wasn't scared up on top of the platform there. The other 2 were a little nervous.
Well, let's find out about the other 2. Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Lakhan Mehrotra, and I am the Consul of India in New York.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
My real name is Joe Costosa. I'm a head bartender of the Luau 400 restaurant.
Where they really get high.
That's how come I voted for him. I was lying down on the floor, and I looked up and I saw a face.
Tom said that's where they really get high. Checking the score, gentlemen, we find there were 2 incorrect votes plus 1 disqualification. That's the same as 3 incorrect votes at $250 each. That's a total of $750 from Winston Cigarettes and a carton of Winston's on your way out. Thank you for joining us and hope you had fun, too. Good night and God bless you. Incidentally, Ten-Zeng Norgay's trip to the United States is being sponsored by the Tea-Board of India. All right, panel, rest easy now, and let's all look at this brief film. I'd like you to ask you, were you right about the one that you thought you knew?
Yes,
and how did you happen to meet him?
I met him because he came after climbing the mountain. He celebrated and came to see a show I was in, Paint Your Wagon. And we met him afterwards and had a party for him in London. Yes.
Oh, I see.
And I met his whole family.
Oh, wonderful. Well, then, this time you were right.
Yes.
And now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Horace Byers.
My name is Horace Byers.
My name is Horace Byers.
And follow along with this one, if you will, please, panel. I, Professor Horace Byers, am director of the Cloud Research Laboratory at the University of Chicago. One of our projects has been the advancement of air safety by the study of thunderstorms. Part of our study of thunderstorms is done at first hand by flying through them. We are also studying various techniques of cloud seeding, or as it is more popularly known, rainmaking. In the air over the continental United States, there is 6 times as much water as all of our major rivers put together. If we can successfully tap this source of supply, we will have gone a long way toward solving the severe water shortage that parts of our country are facing right now. Signed, Professor Horace Byers. Very well, panel. These 3 gentlemen all claim to be Professor Horace Byers, director of a cloud research laboratory. And let's start this one with Tom Poston, if we may, Tom.
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, what is the danger attendant upon flying through thunderstorm clouds?
The principal danger is the air currents, turbulence.
Number 3, what about the danger from actual bolts of lightning?
This is not very great as long as the fuel system is not affected by it because the lightning goes over the surface of the airplane and then out.
Thank you. Do you know what St. Elmo's fire is, number 2?
Yes, I do. St. Elmo's fire is an electrical discharge that appears on the edges of the planes when flying through electrical storms.
Thank you. Number 2,
Sally Ann Howe.
Thank you, Bud. Number 2, could you tell me how many planes are working in this experimental work?
Right now we have 452 exactly.
I see. Could you give me the names of all the pilots, please? No, all right. Thank you very much. Number 3, could you tell me what is the name of the highest cloud there is?
The cirrus group. Cirrus, cirrostratus, and cirrocumulus.
Thank you. Number 1, what is the lowest cloud?
Stratus.
Pardon?
Stratus.
Thank you very much. Number 2, when it says here in the affidavit about rainmaking, cloud seeding, would you please tell me how would you start that?
Yes, we...
Sit in it?
we...
Oh, I'm sorry.
We allow it... We seed
I'll go
a
back
trail...
to England.
I'm
I beg
sorry.
your
We
pardon.
seed a trail of silver iodide crystals just downwind of the cloud so that when the cloud passes through it, it causes an increase in the condensation.
I see. Thank you.
Hey, Burrows. These guys are all rainmakers, you know.
Boy, it's true.
They're very good. Number 3, what's the difference between a cirrostratus and a cirrocumulus?
Cirrostratus is a flat sheet-like cloud. A cirrocumulus is like puffs of cotton.
Number 1, what's the difference between a cirrus and a nimbus?
Nimbus is a puffier cloud. It's down lower. Cirrus would be a higher cloud, wispier.
How about you, number 2? You never thought I was a cloud man, did you?
No, I never did.
Number 2, what would you say is the difference between a cirrus and a nimbus?
The nimbus actually is from the Latin and means storm. Nimbus is any cloud that would create a storm at whatever level.
Kitty.
Number 1, explain to me what would happen to all the rain over the continental United States that's more than all the major rivers put together. Supposing you were able to tap this, where would it go? Wouldn't it flood the countryside?
No.
Where would it go?
We'd cover every inch of ground in the United States with only an inch of water.
And you think this could be done someday?
We'd hope to.
Number 2, what's the difference between flying through a hurricane and flying through a thunderstorm?
A hurricane covers an area of about 500 miles. A thunderstorm is anything from a quarter of a mile to 2 miles at the outside.
Thank you.
And that's it. So back in your clouds, ladies and gentlemen of the panel, and mark your ballots at once, please. Without change and, of course, without consultation, naturally.
Very tricky.
Vote now, if you will, for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked? Very well.
No,
Tom, for whom did you just vote?
Well, I voted for number 3. I think that the lowest clouds are called fog. And, I thought... I won't take any more time. I thought it was finished.
All right, Sally Ann.
I voted for number 1. Number 2 was marvelous with all his answers. But number 1 said there would only be an inch of rain all over the place, and I thought that was most impressive.
Abe Burrows?
Well, I thought that answer was very sneaky. I thought about number 1. I'm afraid maybe it is him. But number 3 knows such a lot about clouds, and I got to go with the clouds.
Kitty, which one do you think it is?
I voted for number 1. My guess is that the other 2 are meteorologists, and that's why they knew so much. But I think I see number 1 flying those planes through those cumulus and cirrus-type clouds.
All 400 of them? Very well, it's completely split then. 2 for number 3, 2 for number 1. Let's find out immediately which one of these gentlemen is, in truth, the director of a cloud research laboratory. Will the real Dr. Horace Byers please stand up? Well, that was a good job of fooling. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My real name is Jack McCracken. I'm a yacht broker.
And number 2, may I have your real name and what you do, sir?
My name is David Charney. I'm a professional flamenco guitarist.
He introduces people to Cloud 9. That's what he does. Checking the score, gentlemen, you did very well indeed. There were 2 incorrect votes, and that's twice $250, or a total of $500 from Winston Cigarettes, as well as a carton of Winston's as you leave. And thank you very much for joining us. Hope you found it not just worthwhile, but good fun. Good night, and God bless you. That's all we have time for. Good night, panel. Thank you for it. A very special thank you.
Great to be here.
And good night to all of you. Don't forget to join us the same time next week. And, of course, I'll see you tomorrow afternoon on the daytime show. In the meantime, speaking for Winston Cigarettes, may I remind you once again to tell the truth. Good night.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Winston Filter Cigarettes. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. This is Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, the program was recorded.